All right, so how do you become a Little Red Book influencer? For context, Little Red Book is trying to get all of their content creators that are active on the platform to register for an influencer account. And they will be sending out invitations to all of the creator accounts that meet the criteria. So what is the criteria? Well, first, you need to have your account verified, so your identity verified. And then secondly, you would need to have over 1,000 fans. So those are two things that you would need. Now, in terms of, well, when will I receive the invitation? For that, you'll need to check your notifications, because if the platform sees that you've been active, you're posting, you meet the requirements, then like me, with my account, I received an invitation to register for the Little Red Book Pugongying profile. So Pugongying is the influencer platform where all of the content creators that are eligible to become an influencer are invited to register. So what are the benefits of registering for an influencer account on Little Red Book? Well, there are three key benefits. The first one would be that you get to collaborate officially with businesses. It also makes them easier to search for you. And then secondly, you get better insights into how your content is performing, as well as how many times you've shown up in the search feed for businesses that are interested in collaborating with you. And then thirdly, of course, you get more opportunities, because now businesses can find you through an official platform, and then they don't need to guess what your engagement is. All of that information will be shown on the platform. They get to see your data insights, which makes it a lot easier for them to decide whether or not to engage you. And then in terms of, let's go back to number 2 with better insights. What does that mean? Well, if we take a look at the stats that you'll see popping up on the screen, what you can see from your personalized stats is you can see how many times you were shown on the Explore feed for clients interested in partnering with you. And then secondly, you can also see how many people visited your profile after seeing your information on the main page. And then one area that I find super interesting is they actually show you where your pricing stands in comparison to other competitors. So for example, in the next section, we'll go over how to set your pricing, but then they show you how competitive your rates are. So I find that really interesting that they show this. And other stats that you can see is how many invites you've gotten, how many purchases and saves resulted from your content on collaborated posts. So all of that would be great insight for you to further optimize your business collaboration content. All right, so if you've managed to get set up as an influencer profile account, and we've also talked about the 3 key benefits of having an influencer profile on Pugongying, then the last section for this video is, well, now that I have a profile, how do I build it out? Well, there are some key things that you should take action on. The first one, which you will be prompted to do when you apply for the influencer profile, is decide how much you want to charge. And then there are 2 main prices that you will need to set. The first one is how much you will charge for photo posts, right? So that's one type of content format. The second type would be how much you will be charging for video posts. So you'll want to set those prices. The interesting thing is the platform's algorithm did prompt me to charge within a certain range. So they provided a range where most of the jobs were for other content creators in my category. So my category is the foodie category. So they provided a benchmark price and recommended that I set my pricing around that benchmark. So this was supremely helpful, because I think one thing that plagues a lot of content creators is, well, how much should I charge for my content? What are people actually paying for? So in this case, the great thing about Little Red Book is they give you those prompts. So this is how I came to set my pricing on the platform. So what you can see is, and I briefly mentioned this in the last section, is it shows you in your insights where your pricing stands. So if you take a look at this, so I am in the third category there. So most people price in one tier lower than where my pricing is. So if I want to become more competitive, then I would want to set my pricing a little bit lower. But then based on my engagement, I guess the algorithm recommended that I set it around $400 or so for a photo carousel. And then for video, they did recommend that I set my pricing around $539 to be really exact. So for this type of information, it will help you set your pricing, but you would want to note that for every time that you want to change your pricing, you can only do it every 25 days. So make sure that when you set your pricing, you are okay to leave it as is for 25 days. So that's the first thing when you're building out your profile. The other prompt that you will receive when you set up your profile is to add profile tags. So for example, I applied for overseas Chinese, right? Because I don't reside in mainland China. So I applied for that tag. And then I also applied for an entrepreneur tag. So because I run my own business, so I applied for that tag. And then the third one I applied for was photographer. And then the fourth one was solo living dwellers. So out of these 4 tags that I applied for, only 2 were approved. So the other 2 got rejected. Like, can you guess what it is based on my profile if you've seen my profile on Little Red Book? Well, the first ones that I did get approved for is the business owner. And then secondly, I was also approved for overseas Chinese. But the other 2, photography and solo living dwellers, I did not get approved for those categories. So why would you want to have profile tags? Well, having profile tags makes it easier again for businesses to search for your profile using those profile tags and then seek you out to collaborate with you. So the suggestion that the platform gave me was to post more photography related content and also perhaps vlogs that show that I live solo and how living solo is like. So those are some key pointers that the platform provided me in my notifications. So that's a great thing about Little Red Book. They provide all these tips and tutorials that help you build your content creator profile on their platform. So I hope this video was useful for you. We talked about how to become an influencer, the benefits of having an influencer account, and then thirdly, how to build out your profile. So if this was useful, make sure to give us a like and subscribe because we'll also be sharing more Little Red Book tutorials over the next coming weeks.